ॐ सदाशिवसमारम्भां शङ्कराचार्यमध्यमाम् अस्मदाचार्यपर्यन्तां वन्दे गुरुपरम्परां नारायणं नमस्कृत्य नरं चैव नरोत्तमं देवीं सरस्वतीं व्यासं ततो जयमुदीरयेत् शुक्लाम्भरधरं विष्णुं शशिवर्णं चतुर्भुजं प्रसन्नवदनं ध्यायेत् सर्वविघ्नोपशान्तये. In the previous class, we covered up to 103rd shloka, which completed 966th nama. So this class we will begin with the 104th shloka. Please repeat once after me. Bhurbhuvasvastarustaraha Savita Prapitamaha Yajño Yajñapatir Yajva Yajñango Yajñavahanaha. This shloka contains 9 namas of Bhagavan, beginning from 967 to 975. 967. Bhurbhuvasvastaruhu. Bhurbhuvasvastaruhu is the first nama in this shloka. This nama means he who is that one tree, he who is in the form of that one tree that pervades all the 3 lokas. The 3 lokas are Bhuhu, Bhuvaha, Suvaha. So, the 3 lokas, Bhuhu, Bhuvaha, Suvaha, are being pervaded by Bhagavan, who is represented by a tree in this nama. Bhurbhuva Suvaha is also called as Vyahriti. Vyahriti, meaning the essence of the Vedas. When this Shabda is chanted, Bhurbhuva Suvaha is chanted, it makes good all the deficiencies in a karma. Whenever it is chanted before doing any karma, this chanting itself does mantra shuddhi. It makes good all the deficiencies in the karma and enables one gain result from that karma. And we saw that Bhurbhuva Suvaha being the essence of Veda, it stands to represent the Vedas. The tree of Veda, which is Bhagavan himself. And Bhagavan is compared to a tree here because he is visualized as a tree, that tree below which all the living beings are nourished and they are grown. And Bhagavan, as this tree, serves as a shelter to all the jivas, the samsara vriksha. Bhagavan as this samsara vriksha. He is not only the vriksha but also the seed of the samsara vriksha with the roots spread all over. In that form, he pervades this entire universe, all the 3 lokas, the lower loka, bhuloka, the upper lokas. Therefore, he is called Bhurbhuvasvastaruhu. 968th nama, Taraha. This nama is occurring for the second time. The first time we had already seen as the 338th nama. There we saw Taraha means the one who saves us from the fear of samsara. Samsara being Garbha, Janma, Jara, Mrityu. From this samsara cycle, the one who saves us. Therefore, Bhagavan is called Taraha in the 338th Nama. Here, in 968, this samsara is compared to the ocean, a vast big ocean, and samsara sagaram tarayan taraha. Acharya says, the one who enables me, helps me cross over this samsara sagara, this mighty ocean of samsara. And Acharya adds, Pranavo va. Bhagavan is also called Tara because he has the name Om. He is referred by Pranava. And this Pranava, Omkara Upasana, that gives Chitta Shuddhi, that prepares you for the Jnana, and Omkara Vichara, that gives you the Jnana, that enables you to cross over samsara. The Jnana of Ishvara, as given by Mandukya Upanishad, can be related here. So Bhagavan is called Taraha here because he enables me cross over the ocean of samsara, and also he is called Taraha because he is the very Pranava itself, which liberates me from the sorrow of samsara. 969. Savita. This Nama is also occurring for the second time. The first time we saw this as the 884th Nama. There we saw Savita means the one who has given birth to the entire Jagat. Here in 969, he is not only the father of the entire Jagat, he is also the father of all beings in the Jagat. Therefore, he is called Savita. 970. Prapita Mahaha. Pitamaha means grandfather. The grandfather of all is Brahmaji, because he created my father and I am born of my father. Therefore, the grandfather of all is Brahmaji, and Bhagavan is the father of Brahmaji. Therefore, he has to be the great grandfather for me. In the 10th chapter, 9th chapter of Bhagavad Gita, Bhagavan says, Pita hamasya jagataha, mata data pita mahaha. He says, I am your father, I am also your grandfather. What does that mean? It means he is the causeless cause. Don't ask who is the father of Bhagavan, from whom Bhagavan came. Don't ask that question, because he is that cause which does not have a cause at all. The cause and effect chain stops there. 971. Yajnaha. Now from this Nama, from this 971st Nama up to 984, all the Namas are one group. They pertain to various aspects of Yajna. Yajna means a Vedic ritual. In this context, a Vedic ritual, a Vedic karma. In the conclusion of the previous class, if you remember, we saw that Yajna is, Bhagavan is, explained with reference to the various aspects of Yajna. It is said that Bhagavan is only every aspect of Yajna. Why Yajna is taken? It is taken as an example, an illustration to say that every aspect of my life, when my entire life is a Yajna, every aspect of my life is also Bhagavan. And every aspect of my life, meaning my life is filled with so many actions. Every time I am into action, karma. And whenever we talk of karma or action, it has to have karaka, factors. Karaka is a technical word used in Sanskrit grammar. It means that which brings about an action. All the factors that bring about the action is called karaka. Now, just a little bit of Sanskrit grammar, but it's not going to be a grammar class, but it is very interesting. So you have various case endings in Sanskritam. You have the Pratama Vibhakti, Dvitiya Vibhakti, Tritiya Vibhakti up to Saptami Vibhakti. Now, the Karakas, these are the case endings that become the Karakas. For example, the first case is called the nominative case, where the subject is denoted. This is called Kartru Karaka. We will just see the Karakas first, and then we will, maybe when I take you through an example, you will be able to understand what we are seeing here. So the first case is Kartru Karaka. It reveals the subject. The second case is Karma Karaka. It refers to the object in action. The third case is called Karana Karaka. It refers to the instrument used in the action. The fourth case is called Sampradana Karaka, the person to whom the action is directed, the beneficiary of the action, Sampradana Karaka. The fifth case is called Apadana Karaka. Apadana Karaka is the locus, the place, that is, from what or out of what, that from which something is separated in the action. That is denoted by the fifth case, which is called Apadana Karaka. And then the seventh case, Adhikarana Karaka. I have intentionally left out the sixth case. I have not forgotten. Okay, I'll tell you why. So, seventh case is Adhikarana Karaka. Adhikarana Karaka is the one that shows the connection. Now, when we take an example, say Ramaha Gachati. Now, everything has to have an action, right? So, the action is Gachati, he goes. Rama goes. So, Ramaha is the first case. It refers to the subject. Ramaha Gachati. Now, if you extend this, Ramaha Vanam Gachati. So, Vanam denotes the object, the Karma Karaka, the object of action. Where does he go? He goes to the forest. Ramaha Padena Vanam Gachati. How does Rama go? With his foot. By foot he goes. So that refers to the Karana Karaka, the third case. All these are connected to the action. If you see, all these have a relation with the action word Gachati. He goes. Then Ramaha Padena Vanam Gatva Rishaye Palani Dadati. So, having gone to the forest by foot, Rama, having gone to the forest by foot, Ramaha Padena Vanam Gatva Rishaye Palani Dadati. He offers fruits to the rishis. Rishaye, to the rishis. So, this is called Sampradana Karaka, the beneficiary of the action. He gives fruits to the rishis. Ramaha Padena Vanam Gatva Vrikshat Palani Adhaya Rishaye Dadati. What does this mean? Ramaha Padena Vanam Gatva. Rama, having gone to the forest by foot, Vrikshe Palani Adaya, taking fruits from the tree. From where? From the tree. So this is Apadana Karaka. From what? Out of what? Or where there is a separation involved. So Palani, Vrikshat Palani Adhaya Rishaye Dadati. Then Ramaha Padena Vanam Gatva Vrikshat Palani Adaya Ashrame Rishaye Dadati. Ashrame refers to the hermitage of the rishis. So this refers to, this denotes the Adhikarana Karaka, which is the seventh case. Now, we saw that this is how. So these are the various factors connected to an action. Whenever we talk about an action, there are various such factors involved, and these are all called karaka, and these karakas are the different aspects of karma. And here, with reference to the yajna, Vishnu Sahasranama, Bhishmacharya is going to say that everything is Bhagavan himself. The aside note is, why is the sixth case left out? The question is, why is the sixth case left out? It is because, take the example of Ramaha, when you use it in the sixth case, Ramasya Pustakam, Rama's book. Now, the sixth case is used in Sanskrit grammar in relation of a noun with another noun. There is no verb involved. Because there is no verb, there is no action involved, it is not considered to be a karaka. This is the reason. Okay, so there is no direct verb involved. That is why sixth case is not considered for karaka. So here, yajna in this section of Vishnu Sahasranama is the means, is taken with reference to Vedic action. We saw that. And Vedic yajna, a Vedic ritual, is a means for attaining a desired end. Means is called sadhanam, and the end is called sadhya. Therefore, between the yajna and the desired result, there is a relationship of means and end. Sadhana sadhya sambandha. And this yajna, we saw, is an action performed for an intended result. Therefore, there is sadhana sadhya sambandha between the yajna and the result. Now, Vaidikas who follow the Veda perform various rituals, and these rituals involve a lot of karakas, a lot of factors. You have the Prohita, the priest. Then you have the dravya, the materials involved in the yajna, including money, because you give dakshina. And then through rituals, the yajamana desires a result, and the result is fulfilled through the yajna. Where the yajamana desires for rain, you have rain, kari rishti. Where yajamana wants a son, wants children, putra kameshti. You have so many yajnas where there is a desire for a particular result, and the result is also obtained through the yajna. And as part of the yajna can be done for food, yajna can be done for money. Now, where yajna is done for rain, this leads to the crops being grown well, the harvest happening well. Therefore, there is food in the country. And then because there is lot of food, there is lot of wealth in the country. Because there is lot of wealth, there is prosperity in the country. Yajna itself involves a lot of food and money and other things, because there is a lot of dhanam involved in yajna itself. And you spend a little bit of your dhanam, and all the dhanam is given to reap more out of the yajna. So you give a bit and you get more. And this cycle continues. So this is a continuous process, and every anga of this yajna, here Bhishmacharya says it is Bhagavan. And the various angas are 971. Yajnaha. This is occurring for the second time. The first time it occurred as the 445th Nama, quite some time back. There we saw Bhagavan is called Yajna because he is Yajna Swarupa. That's why he is called Yajna. He is of the nature of Yajna itself. Here, yajna, Acharya says, Sanganta yajnatmana yajnaha. He says, he is in the form of the ritual which unites the doer of the karma with the karma phala. Otherwise, there will not be a sadhana sadhya sambandha between ritual and the result. Right? So he is the one who unites. Bhagavan in the form of yajna unites the doer, the yajamana, with the result of the yajna. 972. Yajna patihi. Acharya says, Yajnanam patha swami va yajna patihi. Yajnanam patha swami va yajna patihi. Bhagavan is called Yajnapati because he is the Lord of all the yajnas. Every yajna is directed or is a worship towards one devata or the other. One devata or the other is invoked in the yajna and is worshipped. And every devata is not different from Ishvara himself, Parameshvara himself. So it is ultimately he who is worshipped in different names and forms, and he who is offered different oblations. Therefore, he is called Yajnapatihi. 973. Yajva. The Yajamana, the performer of the Yajna itself is Bhagavan. The Jiva is not different from Bhagavan. 974. Yajnangaha. Acharya says, Yajna angani asyeti varahamurtihi yajnangaha. It means the one for whom yajna is a limb. Yajna is a limb. This has a reference to Harivamsha Purana, which describes Varahamurti as having various aspects of yajna as the parts of his body. So it describes as Veda as his feet, his tusk to be the sacrificial post of the yajna, his mouth to be the homakunda of the yajna, and his tongue is compared to the Agni. Where mouth is homakunda, the tongue is the Agni. And his hair is the dharba grass, the hair on his body. Like this, the description is given. So, Yajnangaha refers to the Varahamurti Avatara, where various parts of his body are described as the various angas of the yajna. 975. Yajnavahanaha means the one who causes yajna to take place, the one who presides over and makes all the yajnas possible. He makes the yajna the means for getting different results that is desired by the yajamana. So that is Yajnavahanaha. That completes the 104th shloka. We move on to 105. Yajna brit yajna krit yajni yajna bhug yajna sadhanaha yajnanta krit yajna guhya yajnanta krit yajna guhyam annamannadayevacha. This 105th shloka also contains 9 namas beginning from 976 to 984. 976th nama. Yajna Bridh, the protector of the yajna. Bhagavad Pada says, Yajnam Bibarti Pati Itiva Yajna Bridh, meaning the one who protects or sustains the yajna. Why does he protect or sustain the yajna? So that one is able to complete the yajna, which is the means for attaining the desired result. So the result is also given by Bhagavan, and which is enjoyed by the receiver or the doer of the yajna. Only if the result is God, the yajna is sampanna, right? The yajna is complete and it becomes the means for the desired end. And this is how Bhagavan can establish the means and end relationship. Otherwise, the means and end relationship between the yajna and the desired end is not established. When that is not established, the responsibility is with Bhagavan to give me the result of the yajna, right? Otherwise, nobody will do yajna if the result is not established, if the relationship, means and end relationship is not established. Therefore, through this, Bhagavan sustains the yajna, and as the sustainer or as the protector of the yajna, he is called Yajna Bhrith. 977. Yajnakrit. Yajnakrit means the creator of yajna. Bhagavan is also performing a very big yajna. What is the big yajna that he is performing, which runs for millions of centuries together? That is Srishti, Sthiti and Laya. The Srishti of this Jagat, the maintenance of this Jagat, and the resolution of this Jagat, and again Punaha Srishti, Sthiti, Laya. Again Srishti, Sthiti, Laya, and the cycle goes on and on and on and on. This is such a big yajna which doesn't stop at all. So, as the creator, sustainer and the resolution ground of this Jagat, Bhagavan is Yajnakrita. And also, because he started off this Srishti, Sthiti, Laya of this Jagat, he set in motion all the yajnas that are performed inside this Jagat by the people. He has set a cycle, and people have to perform yajnas so that there is punya, there is rain, there is food, there is prosperity. Therefore, he has set a cycle in motion, and he has set the yajnas, the cycle of yajna in motion. Therefore, Srishti, Sthiti, Laya is yajna of Bhagavan, and therefore he is Yajnakrita. And also, yajnas done by the people in this Jagat is set by him, is set into motion by him. Therefore, he is called Yajnakrita. Both ways he is called Yajnakrita. 978. Yajni. The one who is worshipped through the yajnas. Acharya says, one whose essential nature is to be worshipped through yajna. That is why he is Yajni. And also, he is the master. He is the, Acharya says, the Sheshi of the yajna. Sheshi means the master of the yajna, of all the yajnas. Therefore, Bhagavan is called Yajni. 979. Yajna Bhuk. Book means not the book, but enjoyer of the yajna. Acharya says, Yajnam bhunkte bhunaktiva yajna book. So, the enjoyer of the result and the one who, the enjoyer of the yajna, the greatest yajna, and also the one who is given the benefit of the yajna. Both ways, Bhagavan is Yajna Book. He performs the greatest yajna of Srishti, Sthiti, Laya. And he is Yajna Book because he enjoys that yajna. And when the yajna is performed within the Jagat, he is the one who gets the result of the yajna. In Gita, Bhagavan says, Bhoktaram Yajna Tapasam Sarvaloka Maheshwaram. Hey Arjuna, know me to be the Bhokta, the enjoyer of the result of every yajna. Therefore, Bhagavan is called Yajna Book. Then he is every aspect of yajna. Why should one have fear of doing the yajna when he is every aspect of the yajna? And why should one even abstain from doing the yajna when he is in and through the yajna? Therefore, at least one should take to, we may not have the facility or the time and the infrastructure to do a Vedic yajna regularly, but at least repeating the nama of Bhagavan by way of chanting Vishnu Sahasranama itself is a very great yajna, because that is the next nama, 980th nama, Yajna Sadhanaha, the one who is attained through yajnas. For a sadhaka, Bhagavan is the goal. Therefore, what he wants to attain is Bhagavan himself. And Bhagavan is attained through yajna. Since yajnas are the means for attaining him, he is called Yajna Sadhanaha. 981. Yajna Kriti, the one who gives the result of the yajnas. Acharya says, the one who brings the yajna to its proper conclusion, ensuring the attainment of the fruits of yajna. He ensures that the result of the yajna is given to the yajamana. Therefore, he is called Yajna Kriti. Now, there is a mantra from Taittiriya Aranyaka that is chanted during the yajna. Idam Vishnur Vichakrame Treda Nidade Padam Samudamasya Pamsure. This is from Taittiriya Aranyaka, and this mantra is generally chanted during the yajna to make up for the disturbances or any interruptions that happen or caused during the yajna. Now, Bhagavan, we saw that he is the one who is the performer of the yajna. He is the one who performs. He is Yajna Kriti. He performs the yajna and he performs the concluding rites of the yajna. Whether, Acharya says, whether it is the Vaishnava rites, such as chanting the Vaishnava Rik, there is Vaishnava Rik that is chanted, or you have the conclusion which is the Purna Huti that is given. So it is Bhagavan, the one who is completing the yajna. Therefore, he is called Yajna Kriti. 982. Yajna Guhyam. Guhyam means secret. The secret of yajna is Bhagavan. What do you mean secret of a yajna? What is secret about the yajna? That we call it as Bhagavan. Acharya explains this in the following manner. He says, Palabisandhi rahitaha yajnaha yajna guhyam. He says any yajna that is performed, normally we saw that yajna is performed with a result in the mind, right? There is a desire for a result and the yajamana performs the yajna. Acharya says, where a yajna is performed without desiring any result. Say for example, you chant Vishnu Sahasranama without the desire of any result. You chant Vishnu Sahasranama merely for the love of Ishvara, to connect with Ishvara. He says, this itself, doing the yajna without desiring result of the yajna itself is the secret of yajna, he says. So the secret, palabisandhi rahitaha. This is also technically called nishkama karma, where one doesn't condition himself for a desired result when doing any yajna. The doer bears an attitude of being free from being motivated by the result of the action. And this attitude is an inner condition of the mind. where he has no desire, he is free from any kamya, any kama, there is no kamyartha in doing the yajna. Therefore, the ritual, which is an external ritual, the outer yajna, and also this nishkama attitude is considered to be the inner ritual. This is called as yajna guhyam because it is this attitude which leads you, which prepares you for the higher sadhana, which is the jnana yoga sadhana, where one gains the knowledge of Ishvara Jnanam, and he remains free in this world, free from samsara. Therefore, because this leads one to a very, very high result, this attitude of nishkama karma is called as yajna guhyam, which itself is Bhagavan. This attitude itself is Bhagavan. Then Acharya says, yajnanam guhyam jnana yajnaha. He says Bhagavan is called yajna guhyam because among all the yajnas, jnana yajna is the secret. That is the highest or the most profound yajna, the highest yajna that one can do, and that which all of you have been doing for the last 1.5 years. Jnana yajna. Doing the artha vichara of Vishnu Sahasranama. Knowledge of Ishvara, knowledge of Nirguna Ishvara is the highest yajna. In the 4th chapter of Gita, Bhagavan says, Shreyan dravyamayat yajnat jnana yajnaf parantapa sarvam karma kilam partha jnane parisamapyate. So he says, all the yajnas which are done for various yajnas, which are done for various purposes, which are capable of generating various results, all culminate in jnana yajna. If they don't prepare the mind of a person to make him available for gaining the knowledge of Ishvara, then they lose their purpose of being yajnas. They don't make meaning. They are all incomplete. Therefore, all yajnas should culminate into jnana yajna, where the actions are done, karma is done, and it doesn't culminate into jnanam, then the actions are incomplete. And where one gets into the pravarti for jnanam without doing adequate karma and adequate preparation, then attaining jnanam or gaining jnanam is impossible. Therefore, any karma that is performed should prepare me and lead me for gaining the knowledge of Ishvara, Nirgunam Brahman. And the knowledge of Brahman is the highest yajna. And therefore he is called Yajna Guhyam. And then Acharya says, Tad abedopacharat Brahma Yajna Guhyam. Tad abedopacharat. Because of the non-difference of Bhagavan, that is Bhagavan, he concludes it by saying this. Because this group of namas is getting concluded here in Yajna Guhyam. Therefore, he says, because Bhagavan is not different from any of the components of the yajna. And since the knowledge of Brahman is the highest yajna, and since ultimately all yajnas resolve into Brahman, Brahman is figuratively called Yajna Guhyam, the secret essence of the yajna. So that concludes this group of namas. 983. Annam Annam means one who is the food in the form of food. Bhagavan manifesting in the form of the sun, the moon, the water, the earth, the plant, the trees, and everything. Bhagavan has manifested as the food itself. Adyate bhutaihi, Acharya says, that which is eaten by beings. Therefore, he is called Annam, because he is in the form of the food which is eaten by various beings. And he says, Atticha bhutani. Annam is that which is not only eaten, where the same food is improperly eaten with respect to the quality and the quantity and also the time. Then that food that is eaten eats the person who eats it in the form of various diseases. Where food is eaten improperly, one is given to diseases, and it is the annam in that form of the disease which eats the person. And that annam is also Bhagavan. 984. Annadaha. The one who eats the food is also Bhagavan. The one who is eaten is Bhagavan. The one who is the eater is also Bhagavan. So what is eaten and the eater and the one who digests the food, everything is Bhagavan. Now there is another way this word is looked upon in our Shastra. Any bhogya vastu is called annam. Food for the sense organs is also called annam. And therefore all sense objects are called annam. Therefore annadaha means the enjoyer of the sense objects, the bhokta of every sense object, enjoying the sense object, the one who enjoys the sensory vishaya, the indriya vishaya through the indriyas. And annada evacha means he is both the eater and the eaten. And eva denotes that the entire jagat is nothing but annada only. It is a srishti of bhogya and bhokta only. And the truth of this bhogya bhokta srishti, this jagat, which is in the form of the enjoyer and the enjoyed, is nothing but Bhagavan. And cha denotes that all the namas, all the names of all the forms in this jagat point out to him, Vishnu. Vishnu alone, who is the Paramapurusha. That completes 905. 906. Atma yonisvayam jataha Vaikhanas samagayanaha Devaki nandanasrashta Kshitishah papanashanaha. This shloka contains 8 namas starting from 985 to 992. 985 is Atma Yonihi. The word Yoni generally refers to material cause. So Bhagavan, as the Atma, the consciousness principle, is the material cause of this Jagat. Therefore, he is called Atma Yonihi. 985 and 986 are connected. 986 is Swayam Jataha, the one who is self-born. Swayam Jataha, self-born. Shankaracharya makes a note here. He says, since he himself was born as this universe, he himself manifested as this universe to show that he is the intelligent cause of the universe, to show that he is the nimitta karanam. So in 985, Bhagavan is referred to as Atma Yonihi, which points out the Upadana Karana of this Jagat, and as Swayam Jataha, he is the Nimitta Karana of this Jagat. He is both the material of this Jagat and also the maker of this Jagat. Swayam Jataha. Swayam Jagat Rupena Jataha. He himself who was born in the form of this universe. The entire Jagat is nothing but the manifestation of Bhagavan, and therefore it is non-separate of him. Every Rupa is the Rupa of Bhagavan, and every Nama in this Jagat is nothing but the Nama of Bhagavan. 987. Vaikhanaha. Vaikhanaha means, Acharya says, Visheshena Kananat Vaikhanaha. Now, Kananam. Kananam means digging. You dig the earth for something, you dig, right? So, that digging is called Kananam. Visheshena Kananam. Visheshena Kananam. Vishesha Kananam means what? Special digging. Now, this Vishesha Kananam, this special digging usually is associated, is interpreted to refer to Bhagavan in his Varaha Avatara. But here, Pujya Swamiji, Pujya Swami Dayananda Saraswati, in this context, he gives a very beautiful meaning which can be taken as the second meaning. He says, now this can be taken to mean that he is the one who is known by the special digging into the words of the Shastram with the help of Guru. Only then one will be able to understand Ishvara. One will be able to gain the knowledge of Ishvara clearly and without doubts. Otherwise, one would only think that Bhagavan is different from me and who is sitting somewhere else. Therefore, Bhagavan is called Vaikhanaha. And this also this knowledge of Bhagavan, out of his grace, because of his grace alone, this knowledge gives the phalan, where it digs out all my problems of samsara along with its root. And therefore, the one who gains the knowledge of Ishvara is liberated. Therefore, also he is called Vaikhanaha. 988. Samagayanaha. The one who sings Samaveda. Therefore, Bhagavan is called Samagayanaha. The Samaveda is regarded to be very, very special of the other three Vedas. Why so? Because in the other three Vedas, when you recite the other three Vedas, you chant it. The knowledge is chanted. But when you recite the Samaveda, which is musical in nature, it is sung. The knowledge is sung. That is why Sama is regarded to be glorier than the other. 989. Devaki Nandanaha. Simple. It is son of Devaki. Devaki Nandana. And you must also visualize the scene where the Vishnu Sahasranama is being narrated by Bhishmacharya to Yudhishthira in the presence of Bhagavan Shri Krishna. So I'm only imagining that Bhishmacharya would have raised his hands to point out Krishna who is standing there, Devaki Nandanaha, where every jiva is taken to be Devaki. Bhagavan is the one who gives Ananda to every jiva. Nanda means Ananda also. So he is Devaki Nandanaha that way also. And one can have relationship with Bhagavan in different ways. I can see Bhagavan as my father, mother, friend, son, anything. In any way one can relate with Bhagavan. In fact, every relationship I have in this world is also Bhagavan only. 990, Srashta. This is occurring for the second time. The first time we saw as the 588th Nama, the creator of all beings, Srashta. Here, Srashta means, in 990, the creator of all lokas or the worlds. 991, Kshitishaha, the ruler of the earth. This is with reference to Bhagavan's Ramavatara. Kshitishaha means the ruler of the earth. 992, Papanashanaha, the destroyers of all papas. When Bhagavan is praised, when Bhagavan is worshipped, when Bhagavan is meditated upon, or even when Bhagavan is just remembered, papams are destroyed. But still, we accumulate papams even after that. And the only way to destroy papams completely and totally is through jnanam, through the knowledge of Bhagavan, through the knowledge of Ishvara. I can't stop quoting Gita here. Api chedasi papebhyaha sarvebhyah papakrittamaha sarvam jnanaplavenaiva vrijinam santarishyasi. Bhagavan says, even the worst sinner, let him be even the worst sinner, if he gains my knowledge, if he prepares his mind to make him capable enough, fit for gaining this knowledge, with this knowledge, all his sins in the past are washed off completely. This knowledge washes off all his sins. Therefore, Bhagavan is Papanashanaha. That completes 106. We will take 107 and 108 together. Please repeat once after me. Shanka Brinnanda Ki Chakri Sharga Dhanva Gadadharaha Ratanga Pani Rakshobhyaha Sarva Praharanayudaha Sarva Praharanayudha Om Nama Iti Vanamali Gadishargi Shanki Chakri Chanandaki Shriman Narayano Vishnu Vasudevo Birakshatu. This 107th shloka contains 8 namas of Bhagavan, which means this contains namas from 993 to 1000. So this shloka will complete 1000 namas of Bhagavan. And what does the 108th shloka do? It gives the description of Bhagavan almost as much as Bhagavan is described in 107, where Bhagavan is meditated upon, Bhagavan is worshipped for protection. 993. Shankabhrut, Bhagavan is described, his form is described as the Shankabhrut, the bearer of the conch, and Bhagavan's Shanka, the conch, is called Panchajanyaha. The Nadam of Shanka, the sound of the conch, denotes the call of the Vedas. The call of the Veda is nothing but the call of Bhagavan himself. And who will not respond to the call of Bhagavan? Therefore, this sound is also said to drive away all the evil, all the Ashubham, everything that is Amangala. In fact, when everything is Bhagavan, what can there be? When everything is non-different from Bhagavan, then what can there be in this Jagat which is Ashubham or Amangalam? In fact, there is nothing, there can be nothing that is evil. There is no question of evil because everything is Bhagavan only. 994, Nandaki, the one who bears the sword called Nandaka. And this sword denotes the Vidya, the Jnanam, that cuts the attachment or addiction and bestows Ananda. Nandaka also means that which gives Ananda. And Bhagavan, as the bearer of this sword of Vidya, is referred to as Nandaki. 995, Chakri. This is occurring for the second time. The first time was as the 908th Nama, the wielder of Sudarshana Chakra. Here in 995, a subtle difference. Bhagavan is the bearer of the Sudarshana Chakra, which represents the Manas Tattva, the mind principle. And where this chakra is wielded by Bhagavan, I get the ability to see things with clarity. More the clarity in life, there is more Ishvara in one's life. So more clarity means more Ishvara in one's life. And there can be no other way to refine a person other than Vishnu Sahasranama. What else can there be? 996. Sharanga Dhanva. The one with a bow which is called Sharanga. This bow and arrow is a weapon that is used to deal with remote objects, right? So in that context, the problems from the subconscious mind are very, very remote to deal with. And also, they are the core problems of an individual. Now, this bow also represents the Indriya Tattva. So, the Indriya Tattva represented by the bow, which is in the controller of the wielder. Therefore, all the Indriyas, the sense organs, I should be the master of all the sense organs. Therefore, the two ways this Nama is seen is Bhagavan as the bearer of the Sharanga denotes that with his grace, I can cross over all the remote problems which lie in my subconscious mind. And also, the bow represents the Indriya Tattva, which reminds me of the need for the control or mastery over sense organs. 997. Gadadaraha. The one who has the Gada called Kaumodaki. This also represents the Buddhi Tattva. The Buddhi should be broad like the Gada. It should be sharp and it should also be strong. That is how the intellect should be. So that is denoted by the Gada of Bhagavan, which is called Kaumodaki. 998. Ratanga Panihi. The one who bears the wheel of the chariot. Now this is a scene occurring in the Mahabharata war where Bhagavan jumped out of the chariot and he took the Ratanga, the wheel of another chariot, to save Arjuna when Bhishmacharya exhibited a very, very wild and uncontrollable, when he put up a very wild and uncontrollable combat against Arjuna. To save Arjuna means to save and protect Dharma. Therefore, Bhagavan had already in his Krishna Avatara had taken up a vow that he will not bear weapons during Mahabharata war. But there at that point, he decides to break his word. Now, what does this mean? This cannot, it is a very, very small thinking to interpret that Krishna is playing foul to make Arjuna win. It is a very small thinking. Now this action of Bhagavan denotes that upholding dharma is the highest order. Because the cosmic order, the entire cosmos, the entire universe is sustained by dharma. And this cosmic order being the highest dharma, every individual's dharma should subdue to this cosmic order, to the higher dharma. Therefore, Bhagavan lifting up the Rathanga only indicates that every individual, with respect to his or her individual lower dharma, should align with the higher dharma. Meaning, where your dharma does not naturally align with the higher dharma, be prepared or have the mind to give up that lower order in service of the higher order. So this is what is denoted by Ratanga Panihi. 999. Akshobhyaha. This is occurring for the second time. The first time was as the 801st Nama. There Akshobhyaha we saw, the one who is not disturbed by anything. There we also saw that the disturbance can be from one's own ragadvesha in the mind. So the emphasis there was the freedom from ragadveshadi, all the experientially disturbing things. So there is a slight difference between 801 and 999. There the emphasis was on freedom from ragadvesha, the likes and dislikes, which are experiential disturbances, and therefore there it was more a focus on the freedom from passions and sensory related attractions. Therefore Bhagavan was referred to as Akshobhyaha there, to say that Bhagavan is not shaken by any of these disturbances. He is not shaken by any of his likes or dislikes. Here Akshobhyaha is given in a slightly different sense. Here Akshobhyaha means the one in whom disturbances are not even possible. So there we say there is no disturbance. Here we say disturbance not applicable. There is a very, very subtle difference. Because his intrinsic nature itself is unshakable nature. The last and final Nama, 1000th Nama, Sarva Praharana Yudaha. The one who is armed with all the striking weapons. Sarva Praharanayuda Om Nama Iti. This is repeated to show the completion of 1000 Namas. So to such a Bhagavan, Sarva Praharana Yudaha, to such a Bhagavan, I do Namaskara. And the 108th Shloka, Vanamali, the one who wears the Vanamala, the forest flowers, the mala of the forest flowers, the one who has the Gada, therefore Gadi, Sharangi, he has the Sharanga, Anumali, Gadi, Sharangi, Shanki has the conch, Chakri bears the chakra, Cha Nandaki also bears the sword, the Nandaka. Such a Bhagavan who also is Shriman, who bears Vishnu in his Vakshasthala, in his chest. And who is he? Narayano Vishnuhu. Vasudevaha. Narayanaha. Narasya Ayanam Narayanaha. Who is the ultimate abode of every jiva. The final destination, the goal of every jiva. Vishnuhu. Sarvam Veveshti iti Vishnuhu. We have seen all these namas as part of Vishnu Sahasranama itself. The one who is all pervading. Vasudevaha. Vasati Divyati iti Vasudevaha. The one who is the very existence consciousness principle. Abhirakshatu. May such a Bhagavan protect us. And traditionally this line is, the last line is repeated once again. Shri Vasudevo Virakshata Om Nama Iti. It is repeated to mark the conclusion of Sahasranama. So with the grace of Bhagavan, we have completed the main portion of the Sahasranama today. We have the rest of the shlokas which are the Palashruti, which we will take up in the upcoming classes. Om Purnamadah Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadhaya Purnameva Vashishyate. Om Shanti 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 Harihi Om. Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Harihi Om. So I overshot the time intentionally to complete the Sahasranama today. Thanks for cooperating and bearing with me. And the next class, I propose 2 classes next week. One India time Sunday evening and the other our regular time, which is India time Sunday morning. We just need very few classes to complete the Palashruti as well. Therefore, we will begin with Palashruti. If we can have 2 classes next week, it will be better. If there is a problem in having the class, please feel free to express. Please let me know. So it will be Sunday evening 7:30 to 8:30 India time. And then back to back, we will have Monday morning 5 to 6 India time, which is the usual time here. So meet you next week. Hari Om.